Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about It's Not the End of the World by Jonathan Parks-Ramage. It's Not the End of the World is a sort of near-future eco-thriller sci-fi novel. It's set primarily in the mid-2040s, 2044, 2045. It's about 20 years in the future. And begins with about 8 hours to go before the baby shower of a sort of upper-class gay couple in Southern California. Our sort of primary character, Mason, is an artist, and the exact sort of like high-scale art world guy who claims to have values and still drives a Tesla in the 2040s, when we know what sort of company you keep that signifies. And you can't say, oh, I got it before we knew in 2044. This is the kind of person, this kind of hypocrite who we're dealing with, whose art career is hitting a downturn, and so turns to this nasty Peter Thiel analog involved in GMOs and exploitation of climate stuff. It's a world in these 2040s where not much has gotten better. It's drawn from the plights of present times, certainly not pleasant times, and things have just gotten to continue. And so it's timely in that way. It is a very intentional review of the present moment. As all science fiction is all exploration of the future is. It's talking about and thinking about the present moment. But this is analogs and extrapolations of a world where people don't say enough is enough, where the things that are not great are allowed to persist, and the world just gets worse. And amid that, we have a lot of bombast and this mysterious pink fog that's drifting alongside wildfire smoke through the greater Los Angeles area that seems to be instilling fits of manic violence in people. But we gotta get to the baby shower. And alongside this, we have a sort of supporting cast of characters. The surrogate for this couple, who is involved with her disabled black lesbian lover anarchist, and involved in some of the most optimistic and hopeful goals of the story, that's unfortunately at many times filtered through Mason, the artist's lens, to really delicious effect. I think it's seeing someone who just really sucks. Like a character, I did not like him. And that's part of the fun in reading the book, seeing things just continue to get worse for someone you don't like. And his husband, Yoon-ho, who is a filmmaker who is much more ambivalent about the compromises to his values that he's had to make in his career, and thinking about how to redeem some of those choices, how to move in the world in a different way. And so in all this, we have a really sort of present moment exploration of a future that I would certainly like to avoid, and one that is sort of heightened, melodramatic grandeur, and steeped in the Southern California of it all, the upper class gay culture of it all, the complications of high-end art and entertainment, and the ways that that interacts with capital, and the ways that that interacts with values, and the desire for a contented life at the expense of all else. So really sort of chewy ideas there, and some like grand expressive action to go with it, you know, a sort of complication of compromat from government forces, and all manner of little twists and turns as we just sort of delve into this character study of someone who doesn't have the spirit to meet the moment, I think. I had a really a fun time with the book in that regard. And so we had to have a drink. And our drink today is the Pink Fog, inspired by It's Not the End of the World, and this pink fog that's drifting through the valleys of Southern California as we begin our novel. So we're going to start with 1.5 ounces of vodka, because there's just nothing to it for Mason. He's a thoughtful, and at one point in his art career, he's someone who's saying something very earnestly, and then, you know, by the time we meet him, he's compromised to the degree that he's just doing these sorts of dozy-do, 8-foot-long, you know, marble statues of penises that don't really say anything besides generating value for, you know, wealthy patrons. So we'll get our very neutral spirit vodka into our shaker, and to that, for a bit of zing, we'll add 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and our sweeteners. Gonna get 1/2 ounce of guava nectar, get that nice sort of tropical quality to it. Lovely. Get that down in there. And for a bit of bitterness, and because we enjoy a Negroni or two in the book, we'll get 1/4 of an ounce of Campari, just to add a bit more of that red, a bit more of that embittered feeling that I think pervades the novel. Lovely. And then finally, because we're in Southern California, because we're ravaged by drought and wildfire, we got to get a little bit of smoke. And we've got this, you know, mysterious pink smoke as well, this pink fog. And so we will get a couple of droppers full, 2 droppers full of the Poudre Smoke and Salt bitters from Crude Bitters. I'm going to add that bit of smokiness, that bit of, you know, oceanic brine that we have in this coast, and just a touch of that smoke quality to our drink. Lovely. And then we'll get our ice. We always add our ice last because we're cooking our cocktail with the ice. We're diluting it immediately as soon as that goes in, especially when we're here in this further along in climate devastation setting, or in the summer here. You know, it's going to feel like 105 in my neck of the woods this afternoon. We'll shake it up, wake it up. There we go, and as you can see, got it nice frosty freezy there. Give a stout tap on the side, and strain into a stemmed cocktail glass. A coupe to match the wonderful pink coupes on the cover, which was what first drew me to the book. Because sometimes you get things and you get to see they're exactly within your remit, and what a gift that is. This is the pink smoke designed or created for It's Not the End of the World by Jonathan Parks-Ramage. A huge thank you to the publisher, Bloomsbury Books, for agreeing to send a copy my way. I had a lot of fun with this book. I think you all will too. I've got a link to snag it in the description down below. Really, like, over-the-top, melodramatic, fun, summer, eco, timely, you just want to break things when this is done kind of bombast book. and we've got a link to find it in the description below, as well as a link to purchase my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails to Level Up Your Game Night, inspired by the wonderful world of video games. We've got links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button, it makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. We've got some great books coming as we round out August and head into a nice little 5-week September. Really excited about that, so make sure you never miss an episode. And until next time, cheers.